this question's for the subscribers and anyone watching the replay who hasn't yet committed to building anything. Okay, Barry. So people who are interested in an additional or a replacement income stream but still sitting on the fence. So I want to ask you, for the people that are watching and listening who haven't taken that step yet, they have real expertise, often decades of it, but they're not sure if it's enough or if there's a market for it or whether they're too late to start. So what do you say to somebody in that position?
I would say that in the current world, there is a major gap between people who are wise and people who are doing stuff. There's a lot of people who are, and I think about this example with my program. There's a bunch of people who have a title team leader, and they might have even done the job for 5 or 10 years, but no one's actually paused to slow down with them and say, have you thought about slowing things down and doing these things to help you to live longer and to settle into your role and to help your team better? So they're 10 years, they're a veteran. They've been doing this all their career, but there's still something missing for them. And because I've given it 5 years worth of thought and I've distilled it down into a doable process, I've got something to offer that's valuable because I've given it lots of thought and I've actually invested time and energy into being as most helpful for them. You personally, I did all this so I could help you to be a better leader. That's compelling for the person who is in the trenches and is doing the work while you're stepping out, wondering if you can help them. It's not a matter of if you can. It's just what are you passionate about and how can you help? And so the process, and I guess thinking about my process to start with, and this is how I think about problem solving, is how do I bring somebody from chaos to order? That's organizing. That's what business is. And that's what you will then save people time. You'll save people energy. You'll potentially save them finances or help them to build their business, depending on what your niche is. So I would say the you don't know is what I would say. You don't know how helpful you can be. So how are you going to find out? Well, the only way to find out is put yourself out there in some way. So you've got to decide, how am I going to put myself out there? It's either I'm going to put myself out there by recording some content. I'm going to put myself out there by writing some of my thoughts down and developing something on paper. Whether it's my book is a field guide. It's called a field guide. I didn't write an academic piece. I didn't write a blah, blah, lots of references. I wrote a how-to, A, B, C, D. And it's not a huge book. It's like 140 pages. You might go, that's a big book. It's not. It's quite compact as far as a book goes, but it's going to be helpful. So I would say start somewhere, and before you decide you can't help people, just have a think about what you could actually step out from chaos to order. What could you actually give people a 5-step process in, a 7-step process in, stuff that you know, and you look back at the people you work with and you went, geez, they keep stuffing that up. Like they just don't know what they're doing. Like these Muppets these days, they can't do this properly. That's probably your spot. It's just then organizing your knowledge and putting it out there and test it, because it's up to those people to decide whether you've got something to offer or not to you.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, look, we're going to get in the chat. We're going to get your book launch URL and the site integratedpotential.com. Is there anything that you want to add that we haven't covered? Something that you came into this conversation wanting to say, Barry?
No, I think it's been good. Probably one thing I'd add is just back to the start. My first step was whiteboards, lots of paper, and just brain dumping. So I think, we can get stuck in our heads in our desk at our computer. One of the coaches I sort of pay lots of attention to rarely does anything. The computer's the last thing. So get away from the computer, the screen, and go and write some stuff out. and just see what your brain comes up. I think you'll surprise yourself about what your brain has inside it. And it might just be the thing that just comes out. So give yourself space, time, get away from the device, the screen. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Look, Barry, thank you genuinely